my first demo, grabe talaga, pinagpawisan talaga ako ng maraming singot. Ganun. Oh, hi mga ka-ENGOO! So, kumusta na kayo? Alright, so, well, again, I'm Tutor Jacko. So, I am here now. This is actually my third installment, okay, in providing you tips and guides in becoming an ENGOO tutor. Alright, well, in my previous video, I have, I made a video why you need to choose ENGOO. So you can actually click on it, okay, this one, like in the upper section, so you can see it. And also I made a video, on how to apply in ENGOO, okay, so you can also check this one, okay, there, up there. Okay. Yeah, okay, like I said, this is now our third installment. And maybe you're here because you have already passed the language and the video test. I'm happy for you. Okay, so maybe you're now here because you wanted to also pass the demo lesson. Alright, well, in this video, this is a video that can really help you, pass the demo lesson. Okay, so this is the demo lesson is very nerve-wracking, to tell you honestly. In my demo lesson, I also, nerves coming out, okay, in my body. Okay, because actually this is my first online teaching job. Okay, in my first demo, grabe talaga, pinagpawisan talaga ako ng maraming singot. So it's really nerve-wracking. Okay, but of course, after you pass the language and the video test online, so the recruitment team will contact you and provide you guide, okay, so especially the basic lesson flow. Okay, so you don't have to worry on the things that you are going to say during the demo, because here, everything here is actually scripted. Okay, so you don't have to think that much. Don't overthink, okay, na masyadong mahirap ang demo lesson, because if you will overthink, definitely, it will decrease your confidence, okay, and you will be worried too much. Okay, there's nothing to worry because everything is, scripted. Okay, so we have the lesson flow. In the lesson flow, everything is there. Okay, and later you will know that it's really easy, okay, to pass the demo lesson. And I tell you this, guys, basing on my experience after the demo lesson, I think I'm a new person. Okay, so everything changes. Okay, there is like an empowerment, or there's an added confidence in me, okay, to teach online after the demo lesson. When I had like my demo lesson, my first demo lesson, I just had it like take one. Okay, take one lang yung aking demo lesson, because I followed, okay, the demo lesson. Hindi ko nakalimutan yung greetings, and then onset of the lesson, and then up to ending the lesson flow. This is actually it. Okay, so the bread and butter. So if you wanted to pass the demo lesson, you need to master the basic lesson flow. Okay, so now we will proceed to the basic lesson flow. Okay, so dami ko ng mukha dito ah. Okay, so paliliitin muna natin yung mukha ko ganyan. So maliit na siya. Kasi parang na ito, overexposed na masyado. Okay, so how to pass the demo lesson, mastering the basic lesson flow. Okay, so here's the basic lesson flow. So as you can see, we have number 1, greetings, 2, audio and video check, number 3, introduction, number 4, consultation, Number 5, direct instruction and guided practice. This is actually the lesson proper. And then the last one is ending the class. Now let's proceed to greetings. But before that, this is very important. Remember to check the student's request before you begin the class. Okay, because this will really give you the idea on what materials that you will do with the students, and also information like self-introduction and corrections. Okay, in this case, the student would not want to have an introduction, so he wants to proceed the lesson right away, and then also he wants you to proactively correct his or her mistakes. All right, so that's very important, so so that before the lesson you have the idea. Okay, it will really help you. Now, number 1, we have greetings and be on time. Okay, when you click the lesson room, make sure that you're on time, or you are advanced. Okay, you're ahead of the student. That's very important. So in greetings, you can say, "Hello, my name is Jacko, and I'll be your teacher for today. So how would you like me to call you?" And then, of course, the student would reply with his name. So you can say, "Well, nice to meet you, Hiro-san. How are you doing today?" Okay, so san is very important. To address Japanese students with san after his or her name, this is very important because this is like saying Mr. or Mrs. or Miss in the Philippines. Okay, so show some respect. Only for Japanese students. For Koreans and other nationalities, you can call them by their first name. Okay, only for Japanese. And then number 2, audio and video check. So keep your webcam on all throughout the class. Okay, there are cases as well when the students wanted to turn your video off. Okay, rare cases because of some bandwidth or internet issues, so you just need to turn off. That's only the case, but most of the times you need to have your webcam on all throughout the class. Okay, for audio and video check, this is how you are going to say it. Before we begin our lesson, I would like to check a few things. Can you hear me clearly? Then the student will say, yes. How about my video? Can you see me clearly? And there are times that, the video of the student is turned off. So all you just need to do is because as much as possible, it should be, on a video call. Okay, so you can say, oh, I noticed that your video or your webcam is not on. Would you like to share? Then if the student declines sharing his or her video, so you can say, oh, no problem, maybe next time. Let's continue with our class. So that's how you do the audio and video check. Now let's move to the introduction. Okay, another important thing. Remember to check the student's request if he or she would like to have an introduction. Alright, remember earlier our first example, the student would like to skip introduction. If that's the case, no need for this step. Okay, but in this example, the student said, before the lesson starts, I would like to do a self-introduction. Okay, so you will do the self-introduction now. So the tutor will start the brief introduction, avoid mentioning personal information or even asking personal information from students, especially Japanese students. It's a big no-no. Alright, and because you have only duration for 45 seconds to 1 minute, so you can say in your introduction, since this is our first class together, let's get to know each other better. And then the student says, okay, yes. Then you say, again, my name is Jacko. I am from Davao City, Philippines. Or if you're a student, you can say, I'm studying. Okay, then you major in, so you provide your program or your course in your major. And if you're employed, you can say, I am working as an online tutor here at ENGOO. And then you can say, during my free time, I like for example for me, during my free time, I like to watch my favorite TV shows online. And then you can also add like things about Japan or Korea or any other countries that would also, make your conversation very engaging. Like for example, I always say, well, I love Japanese food. I love sushi, takoyaki, okonomiyaki, soba, ramen, and many other things. Then the student will be delighted. Okay, so he will be or she will be delighted to hear that. So That's when that you can also develop rapport, okay, in providing those information. And then after you have finished your introduction, then you can say, how about you, Hiro-san? Can you share something about yourself? Okay, now then proceed with the introduction of the student. Remember to listen attentively. Ask at least 3 follow-up questions related to their hobbies or interests. Okay, do not ask questions that is not related to what they have mentioned in the introduction. So you can say, like for example, if the student would say, I love to play basketball. Okay, so you can actually ask, oh, you love to play basketball, so what got you interested in playing basketball? Or you can ask, who is your favorite basketball player? Okay, and you can also add, what kinds of sports do you like aside from basketball? And then do not forget to always say thank you after the introduction. So you can say, thank you for your introduction, Hiro-san. So that's the introduction. Now let's move to the consultation. So confirm all the details in the student's request during consultation. Tongue twister there. Okay. So you can say, I saw here in your student's request that you requested for a conversation material, or a daily news material, or a grammar material. So you can also say, would you like to use this today, or would you like to do something else? There are cases that the student booked you for like a free conversation, but of course, when you are now in the lesson room, he's actually asking for another material. Okay, so you can ask that to the student. And by the way, the material will appear in the lesson room if the student already clicked the material, so no need to worry, because when you open the lesson room, you will be routed or directed now to the material. Okay, so it's very easy now. And you can also say this one, I can also see here that you would like me to proactively correct your mistake. Is that right? And that you would like me to speak slowly. Okay, so in the student's requests, they also have like special requests. Okay, like for example, they would say, I'm new to this, I'm a beginner, so please speak slowly. Then after that, you say, did I clearly understand your request? So that's it. That's for the consultation. And then now, direct instruction and guided practice. Okay, so this is actually the lesson proper. Most of the materials, in lesson material, we always have listen and repeat, or most of the materials actually, have listen and repeat drill. Okay, so this is the practice. Like for example, on set of the materials, there will be vocabularies, expressions, and then also there's like definition and then sample sentences. So this is how you are going to say it. Say, I will read the words, expressions, sentences, and please repeat after me. Okay, and also most of the materials have dialogue practice. So you can say, okay, let's move and proceed to the dialogue practice. So let's have a role play. Would you like to be Hiro-san, or would you like to be the teacher? Okay, then if the student would like to play Hiro-san, and then you will play the teacher. And then after that, you will say, oh, this time we will switch roles. Okay, so I will be Hiro-san and you will be the teacher. In every dialogue practice, there should be a switching of roles, because it is very important that the student will be able to read the dialogues, from both characters, because later in the dialogue, or after the dialogue, you will check the understanding of the student. Alright, now if the student requested a free conversation, okay, number one, you need to choose a topic that the student is interested in based on their introduction and discuss. Okay, so that's the thing. Be very mindful, okay, of the interest when the student wants the introduction. Or if there's no introduction, like the student would like to skip introduction, you can always ask, okay, do you have like a topic in mind that you would like us to discuss today? If none, then you choose a topic. Okay, so you can say, is it okay if we will talk about sports? Okay, is it okay if we will talk about the pandemic? Is it okay? We will talk about this and that. Okay. And then for free conversation, always ask follow-up questions. Okay, this is very, very important. So you need to be very attentive. And then avoid dead air or awkward silence. Remember that you are the facilitator. Okay, you facilitate. So you lead the students. All right, but always remember, number 4, to make the student talk more. So follow 70-30 rule. So rule meaning that 70% of students and then 30%. So you're just being, paid to ask questions in this case. All right. So ask questions. Do not ask questions answerable by yes or no. Okay. Always ask questions that would make students talk more. Like for example, why, how. Okay. So have that kind of questions, and then listen attentively and respond appropriately. All right. So it's very important that when the student is speaking, like for example, most of the tutors would prepare the lesson note, okay, ahead. So remember that your microphone is very sensitive, okay, to the noise, and then the student will really hear you typing something, okay, or doing something else. So meaning they would know if you're not listening attentively. And listening attentively would also make your response appropriately, okay, so you can really respond. And now let's move to ending the class. Okay, usually it's 1 minute before the lesson ends. Okay, so it's a 25-minute class. So on the 24th, you need to end the class. And then ending the class consists of 3 parts. We have the wrapping up, giving feedback, and then saying goodbye. So this is how you're going to say it. Oh, it seems like we don't have enough time left for our lesson today. Do you have any questions before we end our class? If none, then you can proceed with the wrapping up. In wrapping up, you can say, for today's lesson, we talk about, okay, like for example, if it's a conversation, you can say, for today's lesson, we talk about how to buy groceries and learn different words and expressions like, okay, so you mention, the words, phrases, or expression in the material. That's, the important points discussed. All right, and after wrapping up, you need to provide feedback. Okay, you say, oh, you did a great job in speaking. Okay, or you can say there's a lot of, areas that you can also praise the students in speaking, in their reading, in their listening, in their comprehension, pronunciation, intonation. So many aspects. Okay, so you can say, oh, you did a great job in your listening comprehension because you were able to provide correct answers to the question. Okay, and then please work on your pronunciations, because I heard earlier you're having a hard time pronouncing the words with letter L or letter R. You sometimes switch the sound of R and L. So to do that, you can have this exercise. Okay, like for example, ra, re, ri, ro, ra. Then la, le, li, lo, la. Okay, so that's actually, I suggest, because most of the Japanese and Koreans, they're actually having a hard time pronouncing the words with letter R and letter L. Sometimes they switch R and L. So that's the tip that I usually give them. So ra, and So I usually give them, like, when you pronounce the words with letter R, the R sound is like pulling back your tongue, like and then how to pronounce letter L is that you just push your upper teeth with your tongue. Like say they would really appreciate because usually that's their problem, pronouncing the words with letter R and L. Okay, so that's how you give feedback. And then saying goodbye. So properly say goodbye. Do not hang up on the student. So yeah, don't be so in a hurry. Okay, there are cases like it's already almost 25 minutes or more than 25 minutes, but just let the student finish. Okay, Japanese students or most of the students are actually aware of the time. And then there are cases that they're not aware. So you have until a 28 minutes. Okay, if it reaches 28 minutes, automatically the video will end. Okay, that's based on the system. So as much as possible, be very conscious with the time. If it's the 24th minute, then you can uh, say you can actually say it that you start the wrapping up. All right, and then in saying goodbye, don't be in a hurry. So you say, I want to thank you again, Hiro-san, for booking my class. It was a pleasure having a lesson with you. I hope to see you again. Take care and bye for now. Alright, so that's how you say goodbye. And now for the demo preparation, I have written here, take advantage of the online tools available. Okay, so prior to your demo lesson, okay, in your next tab, okay, so please open dictionary.com and thesaurus.com. Okay, this is very important. Okay, before I'm afraid of the different questions of the student, because there's a lot of questions. Most of the students are actually asking questions about the meaning of a word. Okay, so thesaurus is there to answer, and then dictionary. Thesaurus is for synonyms of the word, and I find it really easy for the students to understand the word if I will give them the synonym. Okay, if they're having a hard time understanding the word still, I give the meaning from dictionary.com, and there are also sample sentences that I can give. Alright, so this is very important tools. And also, like I mentioned earlier, ESL free conversation topics. So there's actually a bunch of free conversation topics that you can find in the internet. Okay, so make use of those things. Now let's move to, this is very important in your demo preparation. Again, follow the basic lesson flow. Okay, do not skip any step, because every step na you will miss is a big deduction. Okay, so you will be you will not pass. Okay, and then greet your student just as with other interaction. Make it flow naturally. Okay, don't be so overly enthusiastic, okay, or overly dramatic. Okay, just be natural. Okay, say, oh hi, hello. So you're like, it's not anymore good. And then always coordinate with your student. Okay, so sometimes students, most of the times, actually pick their material, and then sometimes they would let you pick the material that is fit for them. Okay, so always coordinate with your student, and then adjust to the student's comprehension level. Okay, remember that these students are new to the language. Okay, so please adjust. So tayo ang mag-adjust, hindi sila. Sanay naman tayo dyan, di ba, mag-adjust. So umuhugot si kuya. Okay. Well, of course, give effective explanations. Make your explanation as simple as possible. And then use the chat box effectively. Okay, chat box is very important. Like, for example, if you correct the student's pronunciation in dictionary.com or dictionary.com, there is also an available correct pronunciation. So you can cut and paste. Okay, and then write it in the chat box. And also for the corrected sentences. Okay, so you type it in the chat box, because the student will revisit the chat box after, so that they will, because there are actually a lot of students revisiting the chat box because they wanted to like review the lesson. And then correct mistakes but not overcorrect. Okay, always remember this, right, guys? So it's good to correct. Like, for example, do not correct every word that is being mispronounced by the student. You correct. No, that's a big no-no. Okay, just correct like major mispronunciation. Okay, but for limit your corrections. Okay, because it's very annoying, diba? Tayo when people will correct us every step of the way, it's very annoying. So put yourself into their shoes. Okay, and then establish rapport and be a good conversationalist. Okay, so if the students is fond of jokes, or if you know how to crack jokes at times, then do it. Okay, to establish rapport and be engaging, okay, in your conversation. And most importantly, be polite to your student. Okay, so be polite. That's very important. And end the class naturally. Okay, so be natural with a big smile. Okay, so before your demo lesson, please do not forget to pray. Okay, because I understand the nerves, and at some point if you pray, the Lord will just give you the extra empowerment and the confidence to overcome the nerves and the many challenges. Okay, so before the lesson flow, before the demo lesson. Well, actually, if you fail the demo, you will still be given the chance. Okay, like in my case, actually I think we like in my batch we have like almost 10. Okay, but most of us actually passed. There's only one applicant who failed. Okay, he was given the second chance and the third chance, but still the nerves. Oh, she was not able to overcome the nerves. So on the third try, wala na talaga say no. So yeah, okay. So keep on trying. Okay, but Ingo will give you uh, chances. Okay, if you fail the first time. Well, lucky for me because in my first try, in my first demo, I I passed. Okay, the first try because I followed the basic lesson flow. The nerves are there. It's understandable because you're nervous. Okay, this is the first time. It's your first time to have a demo lesson. Okay, so um, they are very, they understand that. Okay, but if you will not follow, if you will skip the lesson flow, that's a different thing. Okay, so again, from onset of the lesson, the greetings down to ending, please, um, follow the basic lesson flow. So, well, I think that's it for today. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and also click the notification bell so that you will be updated on my new videos. And kung masipag man kayo, please like and make a comment or any suggestions, any video or a tip that you would like me to do in my next video. Okay? Well, I hope you will pass. Here at Ingo, if you would ask me, are they recruiting or are they hiring? Every day is hiring. Okay, so you can apply every day. We need more tutors now because the number of students are actually increasing. Okay, so we need more tutors here at Ingo. So, well, I think that's it for today. I don't want to say this, but bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you in my next video. Bye-bye mga ka-Ingo.